full of permanently tuning teeth. Am I close? Why are you saying these things? I said. Because you want to know. He spat. He pointed to an old man dressed in ragged clothes, throwing down a dirt path. A large bird-like pack filled the scrub glass tied to his back. That's the real Afghanistan. Sahib. That's the Afghanistan I know. You've always been a tourist here. You just didn't know it. Rahim Khan had warned me not to accept the war will become in Afghanistan. From those who had stayed behind and followed the wars. I'm sorry about your father, I said. I'm sorry about your daughters. And I'm sorry about your hand. That means nothing to me, he said. He shook his head. Why are you coming back here anyway? Sell, sell off your Babaland, pocket the money, and run back into your mother in America. My mother died giving birth to me, I said. He sighed and lit another cigarette and nothing. Pull over. What? Pull over. Get a minute. I said, I'm going to be sick, and I tumbled out on the truck as I was coming to the rest on the gravel alongside the road. By late afternoon, the terrain has changed from one of the sun-beaten peaks, a barred cliff, and the greener, more rural landscape. The main pass had descended from Landing Hotel through Shinwari territory and the Landing Canal. We then turned into Afghanistan and Turkmen. Pine trees flagged the road, fewer that I remember, and many of them bare. But it was good to see trees again after an arduous drive through Khyber Pass. We were getting closer to Jalalabad, where Farid had a brother who would take us in for the night. The son had a quiet scene and drove into Jalalabad, capital of the state of Nagar, a city once renowned for its fruits and warm climate. Fire drove past the buildings and stone houses in the city's central district. There weren't as many palm trees as I remembered, as some of the homes had been reduced to roofless walls and piles of twisted clay. Fire turned onto a narrow, unpaved road and parked the Land Cruiser along the dried-up guard. I seated in the truck, stretched and took a deep breath. In the old days, the wind swept through the irrigated plains around Jalalabad, where farmers grew sugar cane and impregnated the city's air in a sweet scent. I closed my eyes and searched for the sweetness. I didn't find it. Let's go, Farid said impatiently. We walked up the dirt road past a few leaves, poplars along a row of broken metal walls. Farid led me to a dilapidated one-story house and knocked on the wood plank door. A young woman with ocean green eyes and a white scarf wrapped around her face and peeked out. She saw me first, flinched, spotted Farid, and her eyes lit up. Salam alaikum. Kaka Farid. Salam, Mariam Han. Farid replied and gave her something he had denied me at all. A warm smile. He planted a kiss on top of her head. The young woman stepped out of the way, eyeing me a little apprehensively as he followed Farid into a small house. The dirt ceiling was low, the dirt walls entirely bare, and the only light came from the pair of lanterns set in the corner. We took off our shoes and stepped in the straw that covered the floor. Along one of the walls sat three young cross-legged and mattress-covered on blanket with shaded borders. A taller man with broad shoulders stood up to greet us. Farid, and he hugged a kiss to the cheek. Farid introduced him to me as Wahid, his older brother. He's from America, he said, Wahid flicking his thumb towards me. He left us alone and went to the great boys. Wahid sat with, with me against the wall across from the boys, who had ambushed Farid and climbed his shoulders, despite my protests. Wahid ordered of the boys to fetch another blanket so I'd be more comfortable on the floor and asked Marianne to bring me some tea. He asked about the ride from Peshwork, the drive over Khyber Pass. I hope you didn't come across any dozed, he said. The Khyber Pass was famous for this terrain as for the bandits who used the terrain to rob travelers. Before I could answer, he winked and said loud voice, Of course you don't would waste his time in a car as sockless my brothers. Fired rest the smallers, three boys off the floor and took him in the ribs with a good hand. The kid giggled and kicked. At least I have a car, Fred pant. How's your donkey these days? My donkey's better ride than your car. Can, Miss Mark. Fred shot back. Takes a donkey to know a donkey. They all, they all laughed, and I joined it. I heard female voices from the annoying room. I could see half of the room from here I sat. Mariam and the older woman wearing a brown hijab, presumably her mother, were in the low voices of pouring tea from the kettle into a pot. So what do you do in America, Mingham? Wade asked. I'm a writer, I said. I thought I heard foreign chuckled at that. A writer? White said, clearly impressed. Do you write about Afghanistan? Well, I have. Manner curly, I said. My last novel, A Season for Ashes, had been about the university professor who joins a clan of gypsies after he finds his wife in bed with one of his students. It wasn't a bad book. Some reviewers had called it a good book, and one had even used the word riveting. For suddenly I was embarrassed by it. I hoped White would ask what it was about. Maybe you should write about Afghanistan again, White said. Tell the rest of the world that the Taliban are doing to our country. Well, I'm not quite that kind of writer. Oh, White said, with a blush in a bit. You know best, of course. It's not for me to suggest. Just them, Mariam. The lucky woman came into the room, a pair of cups and a teapot on a small platter. I stood up in respect, pressed my hand into my chest, and bowed my head. Salam alaikum, I said. The woman who had now wrapped her hijab to conceal her lower face looked had too. Salam, she replied in the barely audible voice. We never made eye contact. She poured the tea while I stood. The woman placed a steel cup of the tea before me and exited the room, her bare feet making no sound at all as she disappeared. I sat down and sipped the strong black tea. Wahid finally broke the uneasy silence that followed. So what brings you to Afghanistan? What brings them all back to Afghanistan, dear brother? Farid said, speaking to Wahid but fixing me with a contemptuous gaze. Bas, Wahid snapped. It's always the same thing, Ford said. She this land, sell that house, collect that money, and run away like a mouse. Go back to America, spend the money on the family vacation to Mexico. Farid, Wahid wrote. His children and even Farid flinch. Have you forgotten your manners? This is my house, Amir Gap. Is my guest tonight, and I will not allow you to dishonor me like this. Farid opened his mouth, almost said something to reconsider, and said nothing. He slumped against the wall, muttered something under his breath, and crossed his mud-lit foot over the good one. His accusing eyes never left me. Forgive us, Amir Ahab, Wahid said. Since childhood, my brother's mouth has been 2 steps ahead of his head. It's my fault. Really? I said, trying to smile under Farid's intense gaze. I'm not offended. I should have explained to him my business here in Afghanistan. I'm not here to sell my property. Yes, I fished the Polaroid from my pocket of my shirt, seen Hassan's picture and the one to the fresh scab of his death. I had to turn my ass away from it. I handed it to Wahid. He studied the photo and looked from me to the photo and back again. This boy, I knew. This Hazara boy? Yes. What does he mean to you? His father made a lot of me. He's the man in the photo. He's dead now. Wahid blinked. Was he a friend of yours? My instinct was to say yes, as if, on some deep level, I too wanted